West Virginia is definitely one of the great comeback stories in college football this season. They came off the blocks in week one and took Alabama to the final 5 minutes. And we knew right then this was not the same team that went 4-8 last season, 2-7 in the Big 12. They took Oklahoma to the wire at home. They have defeated some quality teams in the Big 12 and took TCU right to the wire this afternoon, losing this game 31-30. Credit Clint Trickett, fine quarterback. Credit, most of all, an improved defense, at least in terms of the credit given on the field. But most of all, of course, credit the head coach, Dana Holgorsen. But on this day, this could have been a win against TCU. West Virginia let this slip away, leading by 9 points in the fourth quarter. We got to blame the guy that makes the money, makes the decisions, has the accountability and the responsibility of carrying this program and making the big money decisions. Dana Holgorsen. Blame it on Dana Holgorsen on this loss, 31-30 to TCU. And let's just do it primarily based on the final series on offense. Okay, so this is a TCU offense that is one of the best in the nation, tearing teams apart. They ripped up the Baylor Bears. They ripped up Oklahoma. They have torn apart the Big 12. They have taken a one-time wide receiver, Trevon Boykin, and turned him into a prime Heisman Trophy candidate. TCU's tore it on offense. They've got playmakers all over the place. They have speed to burn. Okay, they had an off day on this day. They scored 21 points at the time, and they just didn't look good on offense, but still ready to explode at any time. Consider the last time West Virginia had the football, 3:46 on the clock. And what did they decide to do with a 2-point lead? Not protecting a touchdown lead, but protecting a lead of 2 points that could be surpassed by a field goal, just a field goal with a fine TCU kicker in Jaden Oberkrum. Okay, West Virginia played too conservative. And I'm all for a conservative approach when it makes sense, when time management and the clock is in your favor, when field position is at a place where you need to be ultra conservative. There are times and places definitely to be conservative and play the clock and play the field position. This was not one of those times against this offense. West Virginia, 3:46 left to play, had the ball at its own 43. They went to 3 runs, 3 consecutive runs, not imaginative running plays, but basically said, defense, load the box and stop us. We're going to punt the football back to you, TCU. They went for no gain. They went for a yard. They went for -3 on, again, not a situation with 50 seconds left on the clock, like we're going to punt it to you, we're going to give up on trying to gain the first down because squeezing the clock means more than gaining first downs. They were not in position to do that with 3.5 minutes left in the game. That's way too much time. If there's a minute left, yeah, you bleed it down to 30 seconds and say, hey, drive 60 yards on us in 25 seconds. Just try to do it. But when you've got that much time, you cannot be conservative. You're giving the football up with, as it turned out, 2:18 on the clock. So big deal. You throw a few passes and you don't complete them, and you've got a punt anyway, and they've got 2:50 on the clock. Does it really matter? No, it doesn't matter with that much time left. So West Virginia, again, gave up. Of course, they didn't give up. They wanted to win the football game, but the strategy was flawed because too much time was on the clock. They ran it for no gain, 1 and -3. Then they punted to the TCU 24. So TCU, not needing a touchdown, just a field goal, had to basically drive 46 yards. They ended up driving 56 to give Oberkrum the 37-yard field goal, but he is a long of 47, so had they driven it 46 yards, that would have set him up for a career-long field goal, tying 47-yarder. And this is a kicker who's made 13 of 17 this year, 14 of 18 last year, so he's a quality kicker. So Dana Holgorsen had to know that. Again, 2:18 on the clock is too much time to give up and play defense. Dana Holgorsen showed that unless he doesn't know time management, and this guy is an offensive guru, he knows time management. I guess he didn't trust his quarterback, Clint Trickett. Yes, he had an off day, 15 of 26, 2 interceptions, but throwing 7 interceptions in 345 attempts this year, and regardless, you have to call the plays that are safe passes. Get your guys in space, let them make a play, pound it into their head to stay in bounds and chew up the clock. But you could not go ultra conservative there and give the football to one of the best offenses in the country with 2.5 minutes left on the clock, having only needing to drive 45 or 50 yards to win the game. And that's exactly what happened. So Dana Holgorsen, despite an impressive run by your team this season, and again, you've played Oklahoma, Alabama to the hilt. You've beaten some good teams in the Big 12. You're a fine football team. You've come back from 4-8 last season. You're hopefully going to finish with 8 or 9 wins and make it to a decent bowl game. You're a good football team. You could have really, really driven the stake into this season with a landmark win over a top 10 team at home, and you had it right there. And all you needed to do was call one pass play, one safe pass play, complete it, and move the chains and finish this game off. But you couldn't do it because you got ultra conservative. You white-fisted it, Dana Holgorsen, and I'm going to call you on it. Great season for West Virginia. Very solid season coming back from, again, 4-8, 2-7 in the Big 12. All right, TCU, you march on. Would love to hear TCU fans, and especially based on the content of this video, West Virginia fans on Dana Holgorsen's ultra-conservative approach on the last drive as you march on for the rest of this season and hopefully finish it off successfully. Let's talk about it right here on Mark Rogers TV.